what's up, YouTube? Just doing a quick deck profile on the Team Silverback channel. Went to the Sonic birthday tournament for a QCR Impulse, and I took it home. Well, I sold it already, but I won, So I played, I'm going to call it Maliss Bystial. I'm playing a much larger Bystial package than most lists I've seen. Just because I think Lubellion is a broken card, so we'll get into it. I'm playing 3 Dormouse, obvious ratio, 3 White Rabbit, and 2 Cat. I don't think 3 Cat is necessary. I see my names consistently enough, and even when I don't, I have ways to draw into more. I actually cut down a little bit on Engine today to try out a new card, and it worked out well. So I'm playing 3 copies of Field Spell. Normally I play Terraforming just to see starters and extenders more consistently, but I didn't need it. It was like a very minor thing. Field Spell is also like the worst starter and the worst extender, so 1 Gold Sark. Gold Sark is alright. And then 1 of each trap, very standard. I'm back on playing Allure of Darkness because I'm playing so many Bystials. I have more darks, so even if I don't have a Maliss name, I can dig for them without having to worry about discarding my hand. When I was playing the Striker build, I had cut this because I wasn't playing dark hand traps to like facilitate it, and the Maliss names in the main deck are not enough to facilitate, but now that we have Bystials, this is okay. It also lets me gas through boards, so it kind of is okay going second too. 3 Lubellion was kind of the spice. I don't see many Maliss players playing this. I kind of get why, because like it's bad going second, but I don't know. I don't think it's really that bad going second either, because it still adds you a Bystial, and people aren't negating it unless they have like Cross. But I feel like Cross was going to negate something more impactful than this anyway, so I think it's fine. And I'm not playing Impulse right now because I don't own any copies, so this doesn't conflict with that. I'm playing obviously 1 Magma, 3 Druis Worms, 1 Baldric, and the Regained. Regained is insane in the grind and insane in the mirror match, so I like having it. It demands interaction from the mirror match. Like, they have to ash this if you hit a Maliss name. It can also like let you play Bystial control until you get to a Maliss. Like, I've had several games where I only open like this or like a Magnuma or like a Regained and some Bystials, and it just keeps me in the game long enough to draw into a Maliss name, so I liked it for that too. Then I'm playing a couple hand traps. I mean, obviously all the Bystials are hand traps, so there's like 5 hand traps there. These, so 8, 11, and 14 hand traps. So these are for Charmies, really good for that. Nib I think is just generically good, but I mean, I've seen people not play it. You could maybe play it over Impulse, especially if I wasn't playing Lubellions and Imperm. I don't like letting Duo Drive resolve, so I try to keep these in the list if I can, like Ash and Imperm, and sometimes Nibiru too if they have to play into it. And I just don't want to not have hand traps in my deck and I play against like Mermail FTK or something. So I liked having those. And Imperm is a solid top deck for a lot of matchups too. Maybe less so because I'm playing Bystials, but the confliction usually doesn't come up. And then today I was on 3 Metal Tronus as like the spice, kind of. I like having hand traps plus this because if they end on like Desiree, they can negate this, or like Caesar, they can negate this. So if I have the Bystials or like Imperms or whatever, I can stop those combinations, and then this is good into the simplified board. Like if they only end on like a detonator, this breaks the whole thing. And then 1 Talents. I never wanted more because I'm deep drawing so much with like allures, so I drew into it often enough where it would win me games if I drew it, and I just don't want to see more than one when it's not always live. Extra deck, kind of standard. Link Decoder, Lingaribo, Lizardos, SP, Splash Mage. Those are all mandatory. There's not really much to say about them. You have to play them. Link Spider. I think you have to play it right now with how I'm building this list. Like, there were times where I would get nibbed and I needed this to extend because I have to like banish a Chessie Cat and then make Splash Mage. And you'll notice in my main deck I'm not playing Dotscaper anymore. The thought process is it's always just an extra body during the normal combo that I usually don't need. If I have a Bystial, or if they nib me in the wrong place, or if I have like any extender, I can extend past needing the Dotscaper. So it never came up today that I needed the Dotscaper. Theoretically, there's like some one-card combos where Nibiru cooks you if you don't have Dotscaper, but like I said, it never mattered. I'm playing enough extenders for it to not matter. IP, honestly, I didn't need it at all. I could have cut it. I never summoned it. Sometimes you can like, I don't know, end on that to make Cryptor, but it doesn't come up that often. Because you're link summoning so much, you don't have bodies that are not on links on the board. The Maliss ones, nothing really to say. I mean, I was making lists less often today, I guess, because I don't have Dotscaper in the deck, so you don't need to make this if you already have Field Spell, so you just don't go into it. So a lot of the time I make Whitebinder first and get my shit set up, and then go from there, and then I can make it like in the grind game, or like, you know, whatever. Yeah, it was fine. I was making these two way more today. And then I'm playing the Nightmare Griffin. I made it twice. One time I got called by it because I linked it off for the Abao play, and then the other time it just kind of like forced him to use a card to like out it, but I think I ended up losing that game just because he had like a lot of stuff. But it was fine. It can reset you a trap too, which can come up like if you have to use your GWC, and you can make this under Nibiru. It works. Abao, she's really good. I don't know. I only made her like once today because usually you get hand trapped. You can't really make her if you get hand trapped unless you have a crazy hand. But it was fine. Firewall. I made this way more often because it's so free to make. Like, it doesn't have any material requirements, and being able to bounce stuff is really good. Bouncing like Bystials and things like that back to your own hand, pretty good. Access code to threaten game, and then this is Detonator. Shout out to Kiko from Imperial for letting me borrow his today. It only came up once. It's for Metaltronus for the Ryziel matchup, because it lets you remove the body, and if you remove the Detonator, like, the board is way less threatening. I think they basically end on nothing. Like, they have to have hand traps or something to deal with it. But I never had Metaltronus when they had Detonator. What it did come up for was my boy Dan. I played him in round 2. He made a Zeus with 2 materials. I had a Metaltronus on my board, and he had a 4-mat Zeus. He Zeused the board. I let him do it, and then I had a Metaltronus in my hand for the follow-up, so I just started off by Metaltronusing into Zeus because it was his only interruption, and just went full combo and killed him. So, came up for that. And then the side deck. 1 Perulia because it's my 15th side deck card. 3 Droll. There is a lot of players on Mitsurugi, so I put it in for that. Sometimes I'll throw it in against the Ryziel Fiendsmith build too, because if they open bad, it can like screw them. But it's, I don't know, it's mostly just for Mitsurugi, to be honest. Like, I'm 50-50 on even putting it in against the Fiendsmith build, because sometimes they just don't care at all. 3 Lancia. It's mainly for the mirror match. Yeah, mainly for the mirror match. I guess if somebody played Krishron, but I don't think anybody plays that deck at our locals. 3 Shifter, because it destroys every rogue deck in the game, and it destroys Fiendsmith, and yeah, pretty good card. Call by the Grave. I put this in for the mirror match. I put it in going first against everything. Hitting a Whitebinder with this is really good. You could just win from there. Yeah. I think I only drew it once or twice, and it hit like an Ash Blossom or something, so I can go for a game. And then I'm on 3 strike and 1 skill drain, which is not super standard. Like, people were experimenting with it, but I think people like are on other things now. But strike can kind of just like be game winning. There's a lot of games where I'll open shifter and strike, and if they're playing Fiendsmith Ryziel, we found out if they normal summon ice and you strike it and they're under shifter, they can't play. They don't have a single card that they can activate after that. So that's why I leave it in. That's come up a lot. If you open 1 engine card plus strike shifter, you just win the game. And then skill drain, you could Heart's Cryptor under skill drain as long as you have something, and as long as it's pointing to something. So it's a floodgate. Probably should be banned. Konami didn't ban it, so I'm gonna play it. And it deals with quite a few decks in the format right now. So, and obviously nobody's playing back row hate. I'm not playing back row hate either. So there's nothing to threaten that. But yep, that's the deck profile. I can go over my matchups real quick. Round 1 I played Ryziel Mitsurugi. Shout out Matt Beck. He lost the dice roll and I just won. Round 2 I played against Dan. We had a crazy game 2 grind that almost went to time, so I ended up scooping game 2, and then game 3 just White Binder GWC, gain life, win. Round 3 I played against Shaq. It was kind of a grind. Game 1 and game 2 I opened no engine cards. Game 2 I was able to just grind them out and top deck into a Dormouse because we just had Metaltronus Ash Blossom Wars. It was kind of crazy. That was a really fun game. And then game 3 he ended on nothing because he didn't open any engine. Game 3. And then round 4 I played against Mitsurugi Ryziel again. I opened no engine cards in game 3, even though I won the dice roll. So I ended on Shifter Strike and like GWC, which doesn't play, and he ended up just winning. But I was already X1, so it got me the top cut guaranteed. Then I played against Bystial Fiendsmith. I think my deck matches up well into that because their Bystials are not very good against me. I have Shifter in my own Bystials to kind of combat their Bystials. So I ended up winning that game. And then finals was against Mitsurugi Ryziel again, so I played that 3 times. And I won that game because game 1 I won the dice roll, did my thing, and then in game 2 he didn't open any playable cards. Even though he did have Lancia, it wasn't enough to stop me from winning on turn 4. So that was the tournament. Shout out Imperial and Sonic for hosting. Maliss best deck. Shout out Johan for not coming to the tournament so I could win. Shout out Team Silverback, obviously, you know, the GOATs, best team in Connecticut. And yeah, that's it.